Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. We're continuing on with the player health script, and here's where we'd left off in the last lesson. We had our little switch block set up, and we've also created all the voids that will be needed at a later date. But if I downsize Mono Develop for a moment, we was left with this error after the last video, and that's simply because this function does not return a value. So before we go on and fill out more of the script, let's get a few little things in place that's going to eliminate this error. So first things first, we'll come to the player dying block. Now at a later date we'll be adding code that will play animations and sound effects within this block. But what we want to do is, once those have finished, once the animations begun to play and once the sound effects been played, we want to switch to this block. And it's similar to how we did it in the enemy AI, it's just that we're using different naming conventions. So in this case we want to change the player health state, and we've given it this naming convention. So we'll use that first. We'll say underscore PHS, and we're going to say equal, and this time it's going to be player health, the name of the script that we have created, dot what we want to change, which is the player health state. So we'll put that in now, player health state dot, and we want to change to player dead. We'll close the line off and we'll put this straight into the comments. So we'll say switch player health state to player dead, and we'll come inside the player dead block, and again we'll have more code in this block at a later date. But once that code's been activated, we then want to start this core routine. So that's what we'll do now. We'll say start core routine, we'll open and close brackets, we'll close the line off and come inside the brackets. We'll use the little speech marks, and then we want to start this function here. So I'll just copy that in there. And what will happen is, once the code that we'll add later has been activated, it will then switch to this block, because that's what we do. We start a core routine when we have an IEnumerator function. So let's get this into the comments. So we'll say start core routine, wait to load scene, and then we'll come into this block. Now what we want is to return a value, and this is how long the script is going to wait. So we'll say yield return new, and we want the wait 4 seconds function. We'll open and close brackets and we'll close the line off. So we want to yield a new number, and then we want to return it. And the number is going to be how many seconds we wait, and I'm going to put a value of 5 seconds. Now you may want a value of 3, 7. Again, it's entirely up to you how many seconds you make the script wait. So again, let's get this straight into the comments. So we'll say wait for, and I'll write this in brackets as the number, wait for number of seconds to pass, and we're making the script wait this many seconds before we return back to the main menu. So we'll say scene manager dot load scene, we'll open and close brackets, we'll close the line off, straight into the comments. So we'll say load main menu scene. And if I downsize MonoDevelop and we come to File and Build Settings, as you can see, our main menu has a value of 0. So the scene we want to load is 0. So what will happen is at a later date we'll add code that will manage the player health. When the player health reaches 0, this core routine will start. It will move to this function where at a later date we'll have a death animation and a sound effect. It will then move to this function, again code that will be added later. We'll make the script wait till the animation has finished, then we'll start the core routine, this function here, and then we'll wait for 5 seconds to pass, and then we'll return the player to the main menu. And if we save this off and downsize MonoDevelop and we'll close that, as you can see that error has now disappeared, and that's because this function is now returning a numeric value here. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time, and until then, bye for now.